Hi there, my name is Professor Murray, and my students usually call me Paul. Today we're going to start looking at Microsoft Project. And Microsoft Project, it's a very powerful software. Um, does similar things to Excel, but it's more project oriented and it's got a lot of built-in features that make it more suitable for projects. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started. And I've got Microsoft Project running on a system that our college uses called AWS, that's Amazon Web Service. And basically we have Amazon host computers for us so that we can access some software remotely. It's not a great system, but it makes it so that you can access from wherever you are. So in that way, it's pretty good. So here's Microsoft Project running on AWS, and I'm going to start with a blank project. And it comes up in a Gantt chart view. And the first thing we have to do is do a little bit of setup on some of the defaults. You see right at the bottom here, it says new tasks manually scheduled. We want to change that to auto schedule to take advantage of Microsoft Project's different features. You can change that at any time. You can, for every task, you can change how it's scheduled, but for now it's just easier to change that to auto schedule. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the project tab and we're going to put a little bit of project information in. The first thing we want is a start date. So let's start this project on, let's go for September 1st. And the default is a current date, but we want to start this in September. And we'll click on that. Okay, some of these fields we can, for now we'll just ignore them. But I'm going to just put in a few different tasks for a project. And let's say we're building a house. So I'm going to have my engineering, foundation, and then framing, utilities, and under utilities I'm going to have electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. And then after that, let's do cabinets, flooring, and finish. So there's a real simple project. You notice that the duration, they've put everything down at 1 day because it doesn't know. And all the start dates are September 1st. So I'm going to put some days in here. I'll say maybe 30 days for engineering, 10 for foundation, 20 for framing. And then here I've got, under utilities, I've got a few different categories. So I'm going to select all three of those, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. And I'm going to demote those. So if I go up to task, and here we've got a couple of arrows. I'm going to click on the right arrow, and that's demoted those three and made them part of utilities. Okay, so I'll put in for electrical 20 days, plumbing, give them 20, and HVAC will give them 10. And cabinets, let's do 10, flooring, we'll say 5, they work pretty fast, and 2 days for finish. Okay, we can see that we've got a bunch of bars now, and I'll just zoom out a bit. And I don't need some of these columns, so I'm going to change my display a bit. And there. So it still doesn't really tell us anything. What I need to do now is I need to link some of these tasks. And I'm just going to select these first guys, and I'm going to click on the link tool, and I'll do these last ones and click on the link tool, and we'll see what we're getting. We're starting to get a bit of a schedule. You notice here under predecessors, it's filling in some numbers. So task number 2, which is foundation, has a predecessor of number 1, engineering. So that means engineering has to be done before the foundation is done. These 3 guys, the utilities, they all start at the same time after the framing is done. And for cabinets, I'm going to put a predecessor of the utility, so number 4. So I'm just going to type a 4 in there, and that's going to, oops, zoom the other way. So now all my projects, all my tasks are linked in the project, and it's starting to look like a Gantt chart. And the next step, if I want, I can start marking % complete. So if I move my cursor over here, it changes to a %, and I can click on that and drag it over, and it shows a % complete. The other thing I can do is I can move things around. So I'll just grab the bar. That actually, let me undo that. Because this is partly complete, if I move the second half of the bar, it's going to split the task. And this is kind of a problem with Microsoft Project, is it has a lot of automated features that sometimes get you messed up. So let's do this foundation. I'm going to drag that guy out. And it's asking me some questions about how I want to schedule this. I'll just click the default for now. And you can see it moved everything out. What it did there is it broke the predecessor and it made this task start on a certain date. So that's kind of neat that it can do it so easy, but it can also mess you up because it does things that are a little bit out of your control. Anyway, that's the first step to Microsoft Project, to start getting a project set up, and we'll go into some more details next. Again, my name's Paul, and talk to you soon. Thanks.